Good evening, Sigma males. I am your Sigma philosopher, your Sigma revolutionary, the one and only Sigma Spirit channel for Sigma males. And today we're going to talk about daydreaming. So many of you daydream. It's an awesome habit sometimes. But for some people, especially Sigma males, we need to be careful about daydreaming. So daydreaming, engaging in fantasy, thinking about the future, thinking about things that you could do, want to do, your potential, dreams, whatever it may be. It can be a little dangerous for us as Sigma males. And I think as Sigma males, we tend to daydream more. And I think it has to do with the fact that there's two things happening right now. Sigma males have an introverted imagination. So we spend so much time alone in solitude that we develop these rich fantasy worlds. And we think a lot. We're deep thinkers. We're analytical. And we're often overthinkers. And because of this, we have these daydreams, fantasies. We think about potential. But there's another thing happening, I think, in the modern world. And that is that men don't have a clear, singular purpose. And because of this, they spend a lot of time being many things, a jack of all trades. And while some of you may be capable of being Renaissance men or Renaissance women, doing many things, being polymaths, whatever you want to call it, most of us need to focus on one thing, at least one thing at a time. And daydreaming, I think, is a way that we avoid taking responsibility. So in my life, I've dicked around for many years and didn't take responsibility. I've been a dreamer. I've been a daydreamer. I've been someone who has a rich imagination. Many Sigma males are creative, and that's because many introverts are creative, because of these imaginary worlds we can think of, because we spend so much time in our heads. And due to this creativity, I've been a daydreamer, living in fantasy, potential, idealistic views of the world. And so for a long time, I didn't pick one thing and focus on it. It took me about until I was 30 years old to really pick one thing and focus on it. And I remember I was getting into this phase of my life where I was leaving a part of my life where I was addicted to my potential. I was addicted to thinking about who I could be. And it gave me such crazy emotions, so many awesome feelings, hormones, neurotransmitters. Just daydreaming about who I could be in the world gave me such a rush of pleasure and excitement about the future. But around 28, 27, I started to think something was really wrong. And I thought I could be anything, but something's wrong. Something's wrong in my life. And I'm feeling not confident about who I am. But for many years before that, I was very confident because I was confident in my potential. But I learned something, which I'll tell you in a minute, about that confidence. So years passed, and I remember watching this Jordan Peterson video where he talks about Peter Pan. And if you don't know about Peter Pan on a deeper level, basically it's an allegory about how a boy is afraid to grow up. So Peter Pan goes to Neverland, which is kind of an imaginary land. He's afraid to grow up. And his greatest enemy is Captain Hook. And Captain Hook represents this older person, this person who is accepted. Time is ticking. The clock is ticking. Even Captain Hook's number one enemy is a crocodile with a clock in his mouth. So this is very obvious. It represents the fact that time is passing. And Jordan Peterson does a fantastic job of explaining why this video, or why this movie or story is such a powerful allegory for men, the Peter Pan syndrome, becoming in your late 20s and 30s still a man-child. And Jordan Peterson says in this video, he says, you need to pick your sacrifice or life will pick it for you, essentially. So when I heard that, I realized that life is going to end poorly for the person who doesn't pick the thing that they want to do and sacrifice the other things. This person who thinks that they have unlimited potential. And why is this so dangerous? Because confidence is king and self-esteem is oxygen. It's as important as the basic necessities of life in our modern era. So, what's wrong with daydreaming? What's wrong with fantasy? It's not real. And a man needs real confidence. He needs that real, tangible, hands dirty kind of confidence. And in the last few years, I've really realized that you can have true confidence without focusing on the real. You can't have self-esteem by engaging in fantasy. You can't have confidence by thinking about your potential or your dreams because they're not real. So take a moment and think about how many things in life people attach their confidence and self-esteem to that aren't even real. They're not even tangible things. And it's shocking to think about because we just build these identities and we think, hey, I'm confident because I have this thing that I do or this thing that I dream about, or I'm going to be this person potentially in the future. And then we wonder why we don't really have confidence. And I think it's because real grown-ass man confidence, real swagger, real self-esteem as a Sigma male or whatever, it comes from dedication to a journey, commitment to a path, focus. It comes from success. It comes from failure. It comes from getting up after failure. Failures burn things away off of you that you don't need. And it comes from reference experiences, knowing you can do this, and it translates into a real world success or failure or learning experience. And it only comes from walking on that journey. And that journey is toward one thing, and that thing is real. So, in summary, pick your sacrifice. Otherwise, life is going to pick it for you. And when you spend your whole time in daydreams, in this sort of introverted imagination land, and you never pick one thing, then all the confidence that you've acquired is actually fake. So when you pick something and you live in the tangible real world, that's when you're going to find the real, confident, swaggy self-esteem. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.